Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine.
Who is a good actor?
A good actor is somebody who takes a craft very deeply, who is able to differentiate between the person and the character, who is able to do a proper research into and understands the script, understands his role, and can also remove his emotions from that role, even though sometimes the emotion helps him to interpret, from experience, to interpret the role that he's been given. He's that man who can submerge himself in the character in which he's playing, understand also the importance of that character to the general work itself, and also, like a good footballer, knows how to relate his strengths, his power, in comparison to those he's playing with. Is frugal enough to know when not to overplay, and understanding enough to know when not to overplay, and rich enough to know when to carry others along.
So who is a good comedian?
A good comedian is somebody who understands his the power of his wit, and know also that his work as a comedian is also a social preacher, a man who uses his work to also correct, like they will say, redundant moralities. And so when he creates and when he writes, his repertoire must also be like when Do Good says, I miss abroad, in the context of that philosophy.
I miss abroad.
He's been given a stage and a mic to address issues that have become so that have become social ills in our society, or unacceptable behavioral patterns, and so even if I don't find the right word to complete this definition, the truth I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is that when you write your repertoire like the Trevor Noahs, you consistently create work and speak about issues as they concern you, from politics to race to religion to like I said, social behaviors, to domestic affairs, and so on and so forth. That is a person who is a good comedian. And in the midst, he's able to interject and weave enough humor to entertain his audience so that they laugh at their follies or the follies of man. Thank you.
Now, who is a good director?
It depends. A good director is a man who cuts excellent picture, who is able to, understand the direction of his script. Directors come from different forms, but for me, I think every director has his own philosophy, his own approach to, and his own directorial concept. I don't know the style of other directors, but my style is that I'm able to work with my actors to understand first where I'm coming from, and to also reach deep inside of them and to tell them what they're capable of doing. So even if I have to work with them patiently, make them understand and build that trust, not only for us to work, but for the person to believe in their abilities and their capability. So the good director, also from my perspective, is one who ventures into the unknown to pull out people and turn them to become brilliant actors, to become successful actors. Someone who is not always ready to take the easy road and crowd his work with experienced and celebrated actors. And someone who is an employer of labor and who understands also that, you know, he needs to find job for new persons. And so for me, that's my definition. I take the challenge to go out and find new persons. Then also a good director is someone who is able to prepare his pre-notes in terms of the movie, articulate what his work should look like. He should have an identity. A good director has a unique identity. Your identity could be like you like to shoot black and white, It could be that you like the epoch-making style of the German filmmakers, or the French romantic nature you like to shoot outside. A good director must have a definition. He must have his own style. He must be creative enough to have something unique about him. You could see element of his signature. For me, that's it. If your picture is good, it depends on the persons who have helped you, your cinematographer, your sound man. But you as yourself must have your own style. You must have your own interpretation. You must have your unique way of working. And if you are such a director that the actor finds as a director's or as a person who's patient enough to work with them and bring out the best, they might refer to you as a good director. But I think ultimately what makes you that beautiful director is that you understand also all facets of the business, from cutting your picture or final cut in terms of edit, from understanding script, writing scripts and interpreting them, and most importantly to also understand, if you're given the script or if your script, to know the relevance of the script to prevalent issues or to dominant institutions. That's it. Thank you.
So who is a good choreographer? I'm trying to tap your brain on some of your areas of...
A good choreographer does not necessarily have to be a dancer. He's a designer of patterns. He's an architect of dance. He's an architect of movement. Dance in itself is motion, emotion in motion. And when you take all of those movements and that body forms that people bring to you, or maybe a young child wriggles like a snake, twists his head or moves, and does, all those are body forms, all those are body designs, all those are expressions in movement, all those are movement patterns, all those are emotions. But when the choreographer takes all of these motions and all of these persons and begin to create the symmetries and the lines and the serpentiles, and then basically when he finishes his work, from what I was taught about dance, that when I finish choreographing, because that's how I judge a good choreographer. So if I put I put chalk or something under the foot of the dancers, when they finish the entire sequence, the pattern, I want to see what pattern they have created on the floor. Because when you say you have choreographed, it means you have created the distinct kinetic pattern that I can see on the floor. When I see that, that's when we move to the stage of notation, which means these patterns are your notation. It can be taken as a script, documented, put in an archive, and given to another dancer to create that same pattern using that. So that's it. Apart from the fact that he also teaches the dance and designs the body form, he also measures the energy and the sequencing, and also know when a particular line or set of dancers are playing to the gallery. So he is the one who is a grand orchestrator, who brings the emotions in tune with music, in tune with sound, in tune with... He's more like also a director. He can be creative in the use of light, and the use of sound, in the use of space, and in the use of other theoretical tools. Thank you.
Wow.